Good evening, everyone. Paolo, welcome. And that sounds very interesting. A watercolorist making a study of a Turner painting. Which one? I don't know all of them, but so I just cleaned up my slab, and since I've been making paint this evening, I thought let's turn on the webcam. For me, it's more interesting talking to you while making paint than watching series on a streaming service, whatever series it is. I thought, for Halloween, let's use a purple pigment around me, and I actually wanted to do something with the background light as well, but even I turned the outer white balance off, and yet it didn't like it. So well, sounds interesting anyway. Just for yourself. So let's, since I'm not going to wait or anything. Oh, seriously? I am. Let's have a look. Let's change this into this, and then this way needs, I don't know why it's doing this. Horizontally mirrored, there we go. But we fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. I don't know why that's happening. I just quit the software yesterday, and I turned it on just now. I have no idea why it's doing that. Oh, sorry to hear that, a watercolorist. I have a question though. Is my sound okay? Because I watched it back yesterday just to think of what I forgot what I wanted to say, and I noticed quite a bad hiss when I turn my volume up, and I don't have that when I record in this software. I don't have that when I record via my audio thing. But it does happen when I watch a live stream back. So I think it's on the YouTube side, or either the bit rate in this. Well, yeah. So I turned down the volume of the software and turned my microphones up a bit, so it should be less noise. I don't know. I'm going to check it later. But I wanted to say that something very weird was happening during yesterday's live stream, and a little bit before that, and last night. I uploaded a reel with my Potter's Pink video about a month ago, 4 weeks ago. I uploaded a reel of that video. At the same time, I uploaded my YouTube video, and I got, for my channel, quite an amount of views, around 16,000 views within the first day, and usually that doesn't happen. And then, as always, at least for me, the views stop. They just kind of stop. They flat line, have a high peak and a flat line, and that's it. And I noticed I got a few notifications of YouTube and something I use for YouTube that helps me with figuring out what tags for me work best, or what titles, or what's popular, and stuff like that. And I got a notification: congratulations, you have this amount of views on my channel. And I was like, what? Like, there's goals, and there's, I think, 4 months in between every goal, something like that, really depending on your channel. And that goal for, I think it was 950,000 views on my channel. So people who saw something of me passing by on YouTube, whether they watched it or not. I think it is that. And I had 950,000 views on YouTube, and I needed to get that goal March 25, so 5 months from now. And I noticed that yesterday in the afternoon and yesterday evening after the live stream, or during the live stream, I saw a pop-up, and that's why I want to say it. I got a notification: congratulations, you have 975,000 views, almost 1 million views, and not views on a video, but just on my channel. And I was, what is happening? So I went into my analytics yesterday evening, and I knew something was up with that short. And I want to say that yesterday, but last night it got worse, better. Apparently, my YouTube short is getting attention again, and right now, let me have a look if I can check it really quickly. Potter's Pink, let me have a look. Shorts is at 82,000 views on that short, which is, for me, is really weird. And just because I'm all for transparency, this is Dutch, but this is what I made for 800 not 800 82,000, almost 83,000 views. I get €3.24. So it's not a lot for, but imagine your short gets 1 million views. Then these numbers get interesting. But this is weird. This I don't know where this comes from. I mean, you can see, like, it's just on my shorts feed. So, yeah. Oh, I already spent this money. I can buy a cup and a half of coffee for that amount. So yeah, cheers. Yeah, or a lollipop. It is an A brand lollipop in that case. Yeah. Economics are bad now, but yeah. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to share yesterday, because it was like all of a sudden that got off again. I don't know. Oh, I did order. I made an order at Kramer, not because of those €3. I made that earlier this week already. And I did order a little bit of the Moss Sit pigment, because the claim that that's the greenest natural pigment there is made me very curious, and something also nice to do during a live stream, to just put it under the microscope put these spectrometer on it and have a fun live stream while making a very expensive green pigment, because it is expensive. I was wondering when you were going to ask that. I'm making Icelandic red. I just made Icelandic. I can show you, but you have to believe me. I just made Icelandic green and yellow. I was planning on making Icelandic red and dirty blue, my dirty blue signature color, tonight before I wrap things up here. But keep forgetting that this red works a bit different than the others. I hope everyone's doing okay. Here, Halloween isn't really a thing. I've planned to visit some things, Halloween things, this weekend because yeah, it's such not a thing here that kids need to do any festivities or anything with Halloween during the weekend. In this case, it's the weekend after Halloween. What kind of work do you do? Just, interested, but if you don't want to share, that is fine as well. Gulchan. I think you mentioned it yesterday even. Yeah, St. Martin is I think on a Tuesday this year. So I don't know how we're going to do that. They need to wake up early. Going to have a look if I can does this help anything? No, this doesn't help at all. It's a Monday. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's right. I wanted to say they need to get up very early on Tuesday, but yeah, so that's on a Monday. Today was packing those emergency hammers to break car windows. That sounds, I can imagine that sounds exhausting. About the YouTube short though, I think long before my channel was monetized, I've had a couple of reels on Instagram that hit 20 million. At least one hit 20 million, and a few hit just below that. And there's no monetization on Instagram here in the Netherlands, so that hurts a lot. And on YouTube, I had a YouTube short that hit 50,000 one time, and I thought, oh, that, you know, it's such a bummer that my channel isn't monetized, because, you know, 50,000 views, and now I have 80,000 something, and it's only €3. So yeah. Can't really put my kids through college with this channel yet. But if that works ever, you know, if this is a niche that potentially can get a reach of, you know, those amount of views, so I can put my kids through college with my YouTube channel, just only with my YouTube channel, that will be fantastic. Oh, that's interesting. It's quite thick, but it's really good. I mean, the consistency is... There's a little fly here. The consistency is good. But this earth pigment gets really thick quite easily when you're mulling it. And I think I notice that it happens just because of the friction. Or just, you know, scraping it and putting it on one pile. There's probably a very scientific explanation for this, but if I put this in a little jar and I shake that, it gets more fluid. It is like a non-Newtonian fluid thing, but yes and no. It doesn't really apply to, you know, putting force in it and it becoming solid or something. And it does look like chocolate paste, yeah. So I just might loosen it a bit with water, since I want to pour it in my pans in a way that I don't need to tap the pans too much. So I've been, as you can see, yellow and green were just made. There's an air bubble in it. go. I'm thinking about opening my shop somewhere within the next 2 weeks, and I wanna set a date for myself. Also, these will still be pre-orders, since yesterday I already shared that the humidity is. Thank you so much, and it works. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Did you see that, Sebastian? It got an animation. Thank you so much, and welcome to the chat. What a way to enter the chat. Thank you. So yeah, and I'm glad the animation works, but I'm way happier and I'm way more excited because of you, Sebastian, than the animation. But the chat I have, which makes me, able to do this, and it's orange again. Seriously, now this is weird. I'm not even going to change it. It's Halloween, and it says something with your name. Your donation. It says your donation as well. Oh, that's neat. I don't see the donation in the chat here, which is annoying. But it gives me an animation right in the middle of the screen so everyone can see it. So thank you. And mostly for you, I'm really happy that you could sort things out with your bank, because weird things with that is always very annoying. Old Days, welcome. I don't think I have any literature on that as well. I've already looked for you, by the way, Mark. I know I don't. But that was way in the beginning. I am doing fine, thank you very much. How are you, Old Days? Mr. Pigments, welcome. Oh, now I'm here, and Mr. Pigment is here. Maybe you can share the Discord link here, Mr. Pigments. Is that possible? Because I keep forgetting. I also keep forgetting that I can actually share that I'm going live. Okay, so I really can improve my YouTube game on a lot of levels, but the animation worked. So I thought a little old school 8-bit animation would be nice. So what I'm doing constantly, and it's a bit off camera, I noticed, but since it's still quite thick, the paint, I will now do it on camera. What I'm doing, I'm scooping something in, and I'm just pushing it in all the edges here. Nothing showed up for me here. Let me have a look if I can do something about that. Let me have a look here. I hope that works, because I don't see anything in the settings, and I don't see any messages I need to approve either, so they don't allow it at all. Okay, well, makes sense. That, and you don't want, other people to promote anything you don't want on your channel. So there we go. That is Icelandic red. I put my Instagram on private because of this reason. And then I used an app to remove all bots or inactive users, and I lost 3,000 followers because of that. Almost 4,000, I think. But I put it on private because the DMs I got, the comments I had after each post, want to make your art an NFT, things like that. And I don't even post art, but it's just the larger amount of followers that I have. And putting your account on private, for a business, it's not the most, I don't think it's the smartest thing to do, actually, but as an individual who happens to run a business, and I actually want to just keep it nice and friendly and stuff like that, and I really had the feeling that Instagram wasn't really a friendly place, and turned less friendly with people copying others and stuff like that. Just literally not copying posts, but just your style, ideas, concepts, things like that. It wasn't a a positive vibe. Yeah, I'm just put it like that. Yeah, but I think I blocked that as well. But then other stuff was replaced by it. So yeah, the copying, I don't mind copying. At least not all the time. But the golden ticket, for instance, I had in one of my pens that got copied like immediately by someone else. Like I think 2 weeks after. And then I think the most annoying thing with copying in that case was that it is a very small community. Like literally, it's like a handful of people that makes and sells paint. So you know each other, or you know who does what, and the fact that people don't credit others for an idea, but literally say, I just came up with the most brilliant idea after liking it 2 weeks back, liking it and commenting on it as well. So I'm like, okay, great idea, but I think you've seen it before. And I didn't take that personally, but I got annoyed by it. Like, okay, there's no shame in saying, he came up with this and I thought it was a very nice idea, so here's my spin on it. Things like that, because it's a small community. Let's keep it friendly. Let's just give the credits where they are due. I think that's a normal thing to do, a decent thing to do, and it got less decent. And it got more personal as well, Paolo, because it happened more and more and more often by people who I know there's not from any one of you, at least in the chat. I don't know if all the viewers now are all active in the chat as well. But I think all of you are decent people, and I can probably trust you with whatever I tell here, what my plans are, and I would trust you that you're not going to copy them before I can do it. And that's also the thing, having 2 kids and ADHD. So having loads of creative ideas and plans and things like that, and sometimes lack any focus, in combination with having kids and doing everything that comes with that. I can share an idea, but I might only have the time for it after a month or so. And I knew, and I found out the hard way, that sharing something before I actually did it ended up in people doing it earlier than I could. No, but Paolo, you're the right kind of not a nice person. Which makes you even nicer. I don't know if that makes sense. I think you're a nice person. Here, at least. I don't know you personally. Not in a way that I could be the judge of that. But yeah, so making or sharing a plan and not being able to make it before others could copy it. That was the biggest issue I ran into, and that was a problem from my side. Yeah, so that's that. And this little niche world we're in, but as a paint maker, I'm within the category of paint makers of the niche, and that world is even smaller and sometimes weirder and meaner, more, I would say, more evil, but not for everyone, but definitely for some. But then seeing the entire thing around a certain brand that makes genuine mineral watercolors, and the way they handled that really convinced me of that it's not an individual or small business thing, but big brands are ugly in that behavior as well, or can be. So there's, before I'm going to make dirty blue, there was one more thing, and I have the tab open for a while now. I wanted to show you, yes, that brand. I wanted to show you on artistpigment.org again. I'm trying to, before I go that, there's a little bridge. I'm trying to promote projects like this as much as I can, because Damas, the guy behind artistpigment.org, this is a hobby project of his. It started with, I want to say an Excel sheet, but it started with a personal little database of pigments and brands that carry the pigments. And it started with sattuna.org, and it was a very comprehensive list of pigments. And then he started to add brands that use the pigments and different art materials and handmade things and all those things. And now with the color mixing that we used yesterday, the spectral curves to it, the swatches that he makes himself and scans himself. Tamas, Tamas. Oh, sorry. I don't know, probably. What's the pigment number of it? Is it in the database actually? Zero results. But does it have a pigment number? PR113. Okay, let's have a look if that is in it. Cadmium vermilion. Do they still sell it? Guerra. Yeah, I agree, Paolo. So that's why I wanna promote his website. I don't know what he gets out of that, to be honest. But as a bridge to what I was saying, I was looking into something interesting yesterday, and let me share it. These are two versions of PB28, and as you can see, the first half, or 2/3 almost, is about the same. Then the weird thing, and this is from Talens, the Rembrandt line, the weird thing is that this near infrared wavelength and the red wavelengths, it has a peak in their paint, whereas this has a little dent in it and it doesn't go further than that. But if we look for now it doesn't want to refresh anymore. Let's get to Schminke, and for them it is PG50. It's the same. If we take this one again and look at this, so this is PG50, which is basically the same as PB28 that we just saw, but the PB28 from Talens isn't, and it's such a weird spike. Well, they didn't send you the entire stock. I have 2 cans of it as well, Mr. Pigment, so it couldn't be their entire stock. Or maybe what was left after they sent me some as well, but I would say you need it more than I do. I don't know what for, but I think, you know, I have mercadmium, and that's enough for me. Same as with Paris Green. I don't know who would this be for, but oh, Paolo, yes, I know this is getting weird. I have 7 cans in a giant tub of it. Cheers for that, Mr. Pigments. Well, it wasn't specifically for you, Mr. Pigments. There's someone else in this chat who has an eye on it and is starting a collection. SMH is shaking my head. No, and Paris Green, to be honest, in the meantime, I'm going to make paint again. Paris Green has, I think, that I know of, 3 or 4 very distinctive versions. And with distinctive, I don't really mean that it's as much of a difference as some PV19s would have, or whatever people would name PBR7. But there's clearly a green leaning one, a blue leaning one, a brighter green, almost like leaf greenish version. But for me, in that case, you know, One is enough. Speaking of which, I bought, I think I talked with Mr. Pigments about this. I bought a few pigment mixes, dry pigment mixes of Earth's rarest colors, and I know Mr. Pigments know who I'm talking about right now, and maybe some others know as well. I wouldn't buy them, and it's not to be negative about anyone with, you know, but as someone who thinks pigments, who thinks in pigments, thinks and breathes pigments, that last part isn't funny. They're not worth it for me. This chat, you guys, are worth so much more than knowledge-wise also than buying a pre-made mix of some very regular things. Mr. Pigments was talking about mercutmium, 7 cans and a tub, whereas I only have 2 cans. So I was also, Sebastian, I was also saying that Mr. Pigments isn't the only one interested in Paris green, and there's someone else here in the chat that collects it. I know there's a dude on Insta that sells dupes of rare pigments and oil paints. That might be the exact same person. Maybe. Is there a history behind that, Mr. Pigments? Because I'm really interested in that through a DM. I want to say I can show it to you. It's there on the second shelf. Right now I am making dirty blue. You might see some blue lines in it and some ochre, sorry. You don't need it for your collection. It is not a single element, Sebastian. You might need it for your other collection. probably. But Mr. Pigment does have a tub of it, so. And 7 cans. No, this is dirty blue. Did I say dirty green? Dirty blue, right? Old Days, welcome! And why isn't that an animation? Okay, I need to go check that. Thank you so much for joining the Pigment family. The more you have, the better you feel. Welcome to the club. It's like I'm at a few thousand jars and I still don't feel enough. It's so. Thank you very much, Old Days, for joining us. So I was saying that. Was there something else I wanted to say about that? No, but I was working on an animation for that, and apparently I didn't upload it. Gulchen, it's basically any form of cadmium you can think of, or at least the red and orange ones. So anything with that orange to brownish ones is replaced by cadmium, which have been replaced by others now. Okay, so what I was saying a while back, I want to support, you see him here in the corner, here in this corner. I want to support artistpigments.org. I really appreciate it, Old Days. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and your appreciation is showing because it really means a lot to me. In case, I don't know, if everyone gets that notification, Old Days just became a Dirty Blue Tube member. Wow. I lost my words. For me, it is my absolute pleasure to share my knowledge and enthusiasm with you. For me, trying to share things that other people do within this niche, so within the niche, was kind of a thing that I wanted to do at the end of this year. One of the things I really want to support Thomas on Thomas Petit Glass on Instagram, who makes beautiful mullers and barons. He makes them by hand, handmade glass art, and it does pop up, Mr. Pigment. So he shipped his muller today to me. I really hope customs isn't going to be an issue. So hopefully I have the muller next week, maybe the week after that. So I can use that. And it's a big muller. This one, let me have a look if I can Got a ruler. This one is about 9 to 9.5 centimeters. His muller is 14 centimeters, which is this big, and as a circle. So it's a large. It's a big one. It's a very big one. But so yeah, I wanna support him as well, trying to get people who want to make paint. Don't buy a muller from the big shops or you know the brands that really don't care. But buy a handmade thing that is made with love, and you can actually customize it or choose your own color. I have another thing I can share it. I feel especially since Old Days just joined our family. You're the 4th member now in the Dirty Blue Tube family, so I do really appreciate it, and I do notice it. Old Days, and I really appreciate it. So I had a secret I dropped last week, I think. Last week I said, okay, there's something else I'm looking at. And it's getting close to, and let me check it, maybe there's an update to it. No update yet. But I can probably, I can share the picture with you. So this secret thing I had and I wanted to keep for myself, back then a week ago or a week and a half ago, I didn't have the picture yet or any information. Now I do have information. I was thinking, okay, I'm here, I have invested in a microphone, there are 3 cameras here. Actually, there's more with the microscope as well. Then I have my mobile phone, which right now doesn't work as a camera. Oh no, because I have the picture open. Never mind. But there's all stuff to it that makes my live stream, fitting within the niche, I think. So I thought making a custom muller and trying to support a business with that. What else can I do? And I've never seen a custom palette knife, let alone one made out of Damascus steel. So I've been looking around for quite a while now, and a few weeks ago I contacted someone who makes handmade knives. Especially I searched for people who had fillet knives. Is that the right word? As a specialty or a specialty, and I found someone who was willing to look into it, and they came up with a draft, and this is the draft. So this is literally a draft for what this person is making for me. A Damascus steel. I know it's not the right term for it, but it's like the folded steel you see, the 1,000 layer steel. There's loads of TikToks on it. I enjoy those. And it does need some taking care of to stop them from rusting and things like that. But it's, well, let me have a quick look if I can show you. It's Valyrian steel, if you know Game of Thrones. If you look on Google, you find things like this pretty quickly, and this is the pattern that it can give. It's not full Damascus because he says that needs to stay oily and protected all the time. So after cutting with it in food, you need to really give maintenance to the knife to stop them from rusting. So I don't know. He found a way to not make it full, but still Damascus. That's a shame, Paolo. Some would say I have enough pigments. I know how you feel. So yeah, I'm looking into giving green light for the project, and if it works, I could even choose the wood for the handle. I chose a dark rose wood, which also has a beautiful pattern. It's kind of dark. It's all handmade, hand cut, hand shaped, hand forged, and I hope it works. So that's the other thing. I really hope it works. If it doesn't work, I know it as well, and I've tried it because I think I've really found someone who can do it. Yeah, I really hope it works. If it does work, he'll be making it as a listing for other artists as well, and I will promote that. So that was actually all I was trying to say is I'm trying to support other businesses than just, pointing people to the right direction for pigments. Going to turn the heating off. Since you'll probably hear that, I don't know if you hear it. But it should shut down now. Autism. To be honest, I need to check where they're from. I think the US. Let me have a quick look. I need to check that here. Yeah, they're in the US. New Mexico. And I'm making dirty blue. So I'm just finished making dirty blue. Let's swatch it. It is, it's not a very big business that wanted to do this. I contacted multiple businesses that made or make or work with Damascus steel and flexible knives. There was someone who wanted to do it, and as soon as I asked it, he said, "Yeah, it's a custom order, so it's 200 euros, without any measurements, without the weight, without the size, without a picture of what my favorite this palette knife, what it looks like. It's just, you know, flat out $200." And there was like a start for a custom order. So I asked, okay, but you know, how did you get that number? Where does it come from? And that's just a price he named for. Oh, this is very gray. This is too gray. This is better. This is quite accurate. It was just a standard price for custom knives. And I know it's a pellet knife. Yeah, plus shipping, plus customs, which is 21% here in the Netherlands. And then we have the administration fees, which are usually 30 euros something for shipments from the US. So it would probably end up to be 300 euros for me for one pellet knife, which was a big no for me. And this business was very friendly in their communication. They asked for loads of details. They even asked if I wanted to be engraved and things like that, and that would cost me another 20 euros. And I'm not doing that because that's not adding anything for me. I know it's nice, and you know it's nice as an option, especially when it's in the shop, in their shop, and people have it as an option. But for me, it wouldn't add anything for it to say dirty blue or something like that, because yeah. Wets and wets. Of course I can. Let's make this. Is that wet enough? Kind of. And then let's just quickly going to tinker with these settings. Oh, that's a shame. Old days, this is Dirty Blue, my signature mix, which is as I said, mix of, there we have it, Mark, a mix of ultramarine blue and yellow ochre. So it's a 2 pigment mix. It's spreading out quite a lot, and it's separating as well, a little bit, although we can, let's have a look if I can, would this help, turning on the outer white balance here? I think it helps a little bit. You can see the yellow ochre here in the edge, settling down a little bit there, and the granulation showing here as well. But I do have to say, I think this is we're really going to get a flashlight with it, yes. These are the colors we're looking for. So it's more of a greenish denim, I think, than this, because this outer white balance really doesn't work either. I think this is pretty close though. Oh, definitely more water will probably do that. But it's let me have a look. It's not really, my phone isn't really showing, is it? Not at all. I don't know why. Well, you can see it separating here. That's, that's it as well. I will scoop these into the pens. Yeah, here you see the ochre separating beautifully, and you see it in the, it's not really visible here, but here it is. You see it in the swatch here as well. I'm just being clumsy. I'm putting it down there, and I'm going to fill my pens. So that's what I'm going to do. So filling pens usually takes, for me, it takes four layers. There are a few paints that can do with 3, because the formation of air bubbles is minimum with those. But for these, it is a minimum of 4 layers. Oh, I want to show you something that I thought of for my packaging. I literally thought of that this afternoon. So I would like you to tell me what you think of it after I finished filling these. I want to have your opinion. It's because I've had quite a large order just before summer. I shipped it just before summer, and it arrived all basically being destroyed, clustered together as a lumps of paint leaking out of the pen. It seemed like leaking out of the pen, but mostly also the paper wrapping sticking to the paint, just being stuck on the paint. And it really broke my heart seeing that, because it is a very dear customer of mine, and also because I hate my product. I hate to see my product like that. Just not in a way that people can enjoy it and use it. And I know I've in the past, when I didn't feel good, I noticed I got more sloppy with packaging or pouring the pans, or those things. But it wasn't me. It wasn't like I threw everything together or something like that. I wrapped everything neatly. I packed everything neatly, and what struck me most was all the wrappers sticking to the paint. So I came up with something. Yeah, here you can see you can clearly see the separation, and you can clearly see it here as well. Vacuum sealing is going to be too expensive for me, to be really honest. To vacuum seal every order would mean it would take a lot more time for me. It would mean I need to make an investment in new tools. I need to stock up on vacuum bags and things like that. All days, yes, the binder mix, you can do that if you use Oxgal. Gulchen, thank you very much. If you use Oxgal, it spreads out evenly. It's a surfactant, and what that does, it changes the surface tension, I think it is, of the water, and thus of your paint. Since we're working with watercolor, it makes it flow more evenly, and water that flows more evenly will make your pigment within that water flow more evenly as well. With separation like this, I'm using a very fine pigment and a coarser pigment, a heavier pigment and a lighter pigment, and a granulating pigment and a not very much granulating pigment. Ochre and ultramarine blue, and they separate. Ultramarine blue is a very granulating pigment, which gives this beautiful texture in the paint that you can see over here. Whereas the yellow ochre, it kind of flows. You can especially see it here to the side. It's carried away with the water more easily. So that's a factor that you can do or use to make paints separate more. Foil them. I've thought about that. It's too much work for me. It's like, okay, so this is my packaging, and it's a paper wrapper. It is a flat paper wrapper which I paint by hand. I cut them and I wrap them around them and put a little bit glue on them, and I just press it down and let it dry. So what I want my paints to do, and I will just quickly get rid of the addition. that I made. What I want my paints to do is this. You just push them and you have the paint. So there's no wrapper, and I know I can use a little bit of non-stick paper or things like that, but that will still stick. And I want it to be clean. I want it not to be too much work, and I actually don't want too much waste material as well. So I thought of something which is a minimum amount of extra waste material, almost no extra costs for me. Same paint. Can we autofocus? Can we autofocus, please? Do work for me. There we go. Okay, so I added this to it. A very tiny Muller print. And this is literally one layer of a 3D print. So it's 0.1 millimeters thick with another 0.1 millimeter Muller drawing on it. That just keeps the paint from touching the wrapper. How do you like this? Not everyone at once, please. It's too much for me. I know the chat is a bit behind. Or I'm a bit behind the chat. I mean, I'm talking right now, but you don't hear me yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You don't have to say that because you're members, guys. Oh, Paolo says it as well. Thank you. I'm sorry. Confluent, thank you very much. I don't know if it works yet, Gulchen. I like the idea of it. I actually made, so I made this version here. But I made another version as well, which is this one. It is a 3D kind of Muller relief with a palette knife. But this takes more time. And this is simple, minimalistic, yet very much, you know, within my line of brand, I think. So yeah, but Paolo, if this sticks to the paint, you can literally just peel it off. It's a very flimsy yet flexible piece of PLA, and this is recycled PLA. A recycled plastic that has already been made out of a biomass. So, and it's a recycled version of it. So I like it. How long does it take to print one piece? I don't know. I just printed 120 of them. That looks like this. And that took 2 hours. But that's fine. There's a bonus for me. For those of you who have 3D printers, there's always some filament left on the spool. I can use this for that. So, a Confluent, yeah, the minimalistic one, so the one I had beneath the wrapper, is way quicker to print. Yeah, so I like that as well. Thank you. I'm really glad that there is a positive reaction on this. I know, Paolo, it's freezing them is a brilliant solution for something that is already a problem. And I don't want people to find out that it is a problem after they wanted to unwrap it. So, Mark, now, how about tubes? They're on their way. I ordered some 14 milliliter tubes because Mark said he was interested in buying tubed tubed paints from me. And what about pricing? I find that the hardest thing to think about, since oh, 1 moment please. I've never measured my paints in volume when I pour them, so I don't know how much milliliters of paint go in a pen for each paint. I can do it for some, but that sounds tasty, Rick. Well, you know, my pens are 1.7 to 2 milliliters of paint, but that is evaporated paint, and per milliliter that will be more expensive than a tube, since that still contains water. So that's kind of a struggle. Maybe I need to see, just, you know, have my pricing of a pen, see what Schminke does, since they pour their pens in layers as well instead of pressing it out in cakes, and see what their tubes cost and go from there. I don't know what a fair thing would be. Old days, what kind of printer do you have? Multiple printers. I have a Bamboo Lab printer, but mostly because that was the first printer that did multicolors, and I wanted to try that. Also, I could get it for quite a good price. I have currently 2 Creality printers running. It's not running, but they were running at the beginning of the stream, and you didn't hear it because I fully customized them. They are not the quickest, but they are silent. 2 printers, and even 3 printers, because I have a third one on the attic, because in my new studio I just didn't have the room for a 4th printer. 3 printers, the Creality ones, running, fully rebuilt by me and one of my daughters. She was 6 when she helped me with that. Brilliant. In the meantime, just watch the paint separating. That's why I left it here. It's 35 decibels, which is basically any computer running, like a desktop computer running. The fan of that is sometimes even more than that. If you're playing games, it's definitely more than that. So 35 decibels is, you don't hear it on camera, you don't hear it here, and that's exactly why I did it. Since I wanted to record my videos while I was making paint, I want to record things for shorts. I wanted to, you know, do things like that. It's a different kind of printer, Eric Gulchen. Yeah, but rebuilding those, and even if they're not quicker, because they aren't, they can go a little bit quicker because of the other things I put on there, but then you would hear them more as well. The Bamboo Lab is noisy. It's quite loud. As really, I need to turn up my music loud if I'm working when it's running here loud. Which was something you don't see when you see videos, or you don't really hear when you see videos about 3D printers. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking 3D printers, and you said make a print, so with a sheet of paper. This wouldn't really catch, I think, but I can use a swatch thing I have, since this is cotton paper. That might make a decent looking. Let's do a diagonal. What's an interesting part? And now we wait. And where do we leave this when it's all soaked up with pigment? So yeah, there's that. I'm really glad that everyone liked the new packaging solution, which is literally a very minimal thing to add to. You see the wrap pan, that little layer on top of that. I don't have an enclosed one. It's an A1 I have, and I've heard the X1 Carbon, I think, when it was on full, not on full speed even. It was printing fast, but not on full speed. And it was really loud. But I was used to 3 printers running at once, being almost impossible to hear. So it doesn't work. It doesn't. Okay, I'm going to show you. It literally doesn't work. Do we need to wait longer? What do we do? Do we turn it around? Put it somewhere else? This isn't. Just going to put it here. The best part is still here, and that wasn't working at all. You know what? Getting impatient. Let's just force it to be beautiful. That sounds weird. Then again, what do I do with it now? Yeah, I got impatient, I'm sorry. Now I'm left with a wet slab that I really can't clean now because of that piece of paper that's on there. Doing some aggressive, that was smooth, aggressive palette knife things. More gentle. Oh, c'est très bon. I'll send you the bookmarker, Gulchen, don't worry. This piece of art, that really didn't work here. I'm just going to saturate it with pigment like one more time like this. And the blue sinks in a bit. This is nice. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the rest. And now it works. Okay, apparently I need to mull my paper. Letting my muller just drop paint on it. Was this wet enough for you guys, or I don't know what I'm doing? And there's 13 of you still here. I thought when I look up, you know, everyone's gone already, but yeah, so there's Dirty Blue. In the works of being quite an awesome paint to make, especially when it looks like this. Well, I can make a very high resolution scan of it for that size, Rick, if you would like to. But the bookmark is already for Gulchen, so. Let's have a look. When did I make? I think Saturday morning I went live for making the binder, and I think as of an hour ago, these are drops. These aren't chunks anymore. It is all dissolved. So I need to filter this. When you're shaking it, I need to be a bit careful with that, with my shoulder. You see that very fine air bubbles making it look like honey or something else. I don't know. It appears way more white. My finished product is, it's a dirty bottle, but the binder is clean and transparent. Looks like this. So yeah, binder sludge has been made. Ayo. Yeah, nice. Yeah, binder sludge has been made. This can be used as binder as well. I think many people in 2000 years ago would be happy with this. Ivan van, you're right in time for pickles. Well, actually, this is binder, watercolor binder in the making. Do I dare to lift this? Let me just pick a point that is not very... It's such a shame that... Whoa, that is beautiful. Okay, wait, I need to just drag it. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. This is good. That is good looking. That's a good looking mess. But where to leave it? How to hang it? So many questions. I think that is the that I did assume that as well, Gulchen. Vegan coffee. Okay, yeah, I get it. You don't like bacon in your coffee, Paolo? I like that description, Rick. I did make Gordon Ramsay's, was it Gordon Ramsay's? I think bacon jam, which has coffee in it. And it was really delicious on toast with an egg on top of it. Yeah, it's a bit too late for coffee as well here. Do you actually, can you, it's not readable, right? Is it the clock? You still need to finish 2 portrait commissions. And the 9th of November, Sebastian, there is a YouTube live stream where they announce who the winner is for the, I don't know how to say that, it's not contests, to find out who is the best over there. So we need to tune in for that for Sebastian. Or if you don't like that, we don't need to do it, which is also fine. I'm going to have a look, though. And if you don't like that, I'm still going to have a look, but I won't tell you. But I am rooting for you. It's an hour later there. Still not sure what I need to do with this. Top 25 is quite an accomplishment already. Sorry, I'm kind of blown away by Rick's comment. Just, you know, because we can, we're going to put it here. There we have the right colors back. Just for everyone to see. Sorry, Rick. Honey sardine and fried egg sandwich. You know, honey and sardine. I get salty and sweet. I mean, I love salty and sweet. Maple bacon, for instance, maple syrup, candied bacon, or glazed bacon, or chicken and waffles. There's loads of examples which I can't think of right now, but that is quite a particular one. Oh my, no, I have a drawing sheet. Thank you, Gulchen. There's like tons of them still here. Because I don't use that thing anymore because that burned my paints. And because it burned my paints, I cut off its cord. Just revenge. I don't think it was a file. I can imagine. Well, honey and fried egg, I mean, no, I wouldn't combine those, but yes, Gulchen, and now I'm hungry, thank you. Some crispy chili oil, just drizzle the crispy chili oil on it and, you know. So who's making us a snack? It's a shame that everyone's so far apart here, since I would love to, you know, meet up sometimes and not try apple with salt and vinegar. But I love to cook. I love trying out recipes, but I bet Paolo will beat me in most things, since you're always doing something with food during the live stream whenever I'm streaming. So I trust Paolo on this. Oh, please do. Have I used saffron as a pigment? I haven't. No. Oh, that's a shame, Gulchan. Was it because a certain ingredient or yeah? Vetkoek met hoender. Vetkoek sounds. It would translate as either fat cookie or grease cookie. In English, I would say. What is it? It doesn't sound very appetizing. But food is something I will try everything. I will try anything that, as long as I know how it's made, or if it looks and smells good. I think. If it's something mysterious or something I just don't like the look of, I'm not sure if I'm going to try it for myself. But if it's something everyone's eating, I will try everything with food. So I'm not judging something on its name. But looking at that from a Dutch side, from a Dutch perspective, it sounds weird. Well, if a watercolorist, I don't know if you ask that to Paolo or me, but I will also give my answer. Fried spiders, depending on how they're fried, I guess. I mean, if someone comes up with fried chicken, for instance, and it looks like fried chicken, but it also has like the chicken legs in it, I won't eat those. It's. I think it's more like a principle thing. I just don't like the thought of it or something, because the other part of the chicken, I do eat. So I won't try that for myself. Fried spiders, if it looks tasty, they're protein, so why not? As long as they're seasoned right, I think. Crunchy and right seasoning, there's nothing wrong with that. What are hoo-hoo grabs? And that's the thing. If people say it's a delicacy, it can get pretty weird, especially in exotic countries. For me, as a Western person, delicacies. Yeah, yeah. There are limits. And not because I wouldn't like to taste it, but I think it's the thought and the necessity of it. Some things just aren't necessary. Some things aren't. Yeah. But that's just my mind thinking too much about that. So we're talking about food now. I'm literally hungry right now, and it's way too late to start snacking, because I'll only gain weight and I won't be able to sleep probably. to fill up my glass though. Oh, you please feel free to share food photos. 2 weeks ago, last week, no, it was 2 weeks ago. I took pictures for a magazine for a Christmas dinner recipe, and I got to taste it as well, and it was really delicious. So I don't mind, you know, yeah. Cream-colored beetle larvae. Yeah, so there's I think it's not only cream-colored on the outside. And they're probably still alive, and that's where I set a limit. For me, that's an unnecessary thing. Good time for a pre-knit midnight snack. I don't think I ever had. I have. Yeah, I have had. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I probably did. It's a long time ago though. So yeah, Sebastian, I thought, you know, you saying peanut butter and jelly after Rick's comment about peanut butter tasting larvae. I don't know. Rabbit meat is like bland, slightly gamey chicken. That's a good description. Yeah, Paolo, but lobster is really, really delicious, and insects really taste different than that. I did eat insects once, and it is really different. It's also because you don't eat the shell of a lobster. So it's all soft and all, you know. Poor rabbit. Being a rabbit all its life to, you know, just achieve rabbit goals, and you think it was an oddly shaped chicken leg. Now that is something I haven't tried. Or I think, at least where I live, will ever try. I don't want to eat bigger insects, but if their meat is cooked in the same way as lobster meat is reacting, and it would be peeled and drowned in butter, everything goes, I think. But that is just my tummy speaking while getting hungry. It's also quite fun to see that, you know, the amount of viewers dropped since we were talking about food. So I love that we can do all of that and still have 9 of us here. I'm not going to make any new paint though, because getting a bit tired, and when I'm tired, I notice I'm not making mistakes while making paint, but I'm getting more sloppy, and I want to try to avoid that. Enjoy your coffee, Rick, and thanks for joining. It's always a pleasure to have everyone here. You know what? I might, if Rick is going for a coffee, I might pour myself a tiny drink before going to bed. It's not late for paint making. I mean, I've made paint later than this, but it's mostly. So that's my kind of, I would say, night routine. But when the kids need to wake up early and stuff like that, I need to get enough sleep as well. But most of the times when I'm making paint late at night, and I've had times that it was like 1 o'clock and later. It was always experimenting. So it was always like, okay, trying to make a better Paris green mixture. So the one I talked about earlier in the stream, the one that kind of was disappointing. I was disappointed in. It's getting late. After that, I was just determined on making a better version, and it's pretty hard. I talked with David Kramer from Kramer Pigments about this, and he sent me 4 custom mixtures of Paris green as a pigment mix made into a paint, and they were nice. Obviously, he has samples of Paris green as well, so he knows what he's talking about. They were nice, but they were, for me, missing what I felt when I made Paris green as a paint. And it's really hard to describe, especially to someone who is into pigments like David is, and making paint. So it wasn't difficult to explain that, but it is difficult to try to get that feeling over to someone that hasn't worked with Paris green, genuine Paris green. So I want, if I sell Paris green as a mix, if I sell mummy brown as a mix, if I sell I do sell Indian yellow already, but not as a mix, as a single pigment, beautiful color. But it's not the exact way that the genuine Indian yellow feels like. So if I do all of those things, Tyrian purple or purpurism as a paint, if I do all of those things as historical mixes, for instance, I want people to really think Paris green is PG-21. I want people to think they're working with the real thing, to think they're working with something which pigment properties they haven't seen before, or there's a combination of pigment properties that are unique to that mix and that paint. And that's what I'm after. Now, Gulchen, obviously, at Kramer they know what Paris green looks like, but for me it was, and their mixtures they sent to me, they were They were good. They were really good. As colors, beautiful. But it missed that, and I don't know if that it's because I had too high of an expectation with that, but it missed the feeling that I had, the oomph or something. I have a swatch of it somewhere, and I'm really not sure where it is. Yeah, I probably do know where it is, but it's not. It's in a drawer over there. I can look for it maybe later. Old days, I have a video about it, and I'm showing you the swatch in the video, which is way better than the light I'm working with right now. I think, especially since it's laminated, we get reflections and stuff like that. So. I want Mummy Brown to feel like Mummy Brown and have grittiness in it. I want Indian Yellow not to smell, because I'm sure people will stop using it when they smell it. But I want it to look like something that isn't something synthetic. Gamboge is beautiful. Haven't you seen natural Gamboge? I've showed it, right, in a video. Yeah, old days. There's an entire. I have a video of the historic trinity of paints: Indian Yellow, Mummy Brown, and Paris Green, all put together as one video. You can see everything over there. Gamboge is beautiful. It's really weird that if you have a chunk of it, if you go over it with a wet brush, it releases as if it is a brand new pre-wetted watercolor. It's such a weird thing. That's why it's a shame we can't do a all of us meeting up somewhere, a bring your own pigment meeting or something like that. Or I can bring my paint maker's travel bag and fill it with very unusual pigments. Speaking of, one moment please. There we go. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. There we go. This is yes, Mr. Pigment's I had need to fix the camera quickly. One moment please. I made a Discord, come on. Now the camera works, yes. I made a Discord server a while back, but there wasn't really, I didn't have the time to moderate it, and yeah. Mr. Pigments made a dirty blue corner in his Discord server. So I'm just going to show you this here, since it's been a long time I showed this to anyone. I need to fix the letter. This is a medical suitcase, a case from World War II, and I kind of changed it to be a little paint maker's kit. It's actually the first time I'm showing this live to anyone. There's a mini muller. This is literally my, I think this is my tiniest muller. I'm going to show you this next live stream as well, because I should do this with more people. There's too many people away already. Tiny spoons, and obviously a tiny glass slab. It's also miniature. And then obviously we have bottles of pigment in tiny flasks, paper, a bit of very clear, but there's a little bit of debris, and that's the honey that's sunk down. So there we go. Binder, water spritzer, also tiny. There's even a pen, a pencil, a small flask of alcohol, a detachable pellet knife, which I just detached myself. It's weird stuff I'm doing sometimes. And obviously a piece of cloth to clean everything with, and there's a pencil to write down any recipe, and a watercolor brush for swatching. So yeah, this is my tiny paint making setup, which is completely unnecessary. No one's asked for it. I wouldn't know when to use it, but I love it too. There's an ideal world where I go to a park and make paint and end up with dirty things and paint. I do have small paint containers as well, mind you. These are small little stackable containers. I can pour my wet paints in and keep them together here. So I thought of everything. I have issues. Yeah. I forget we have a 26-year-old girl in our middle, in the middle here. Oh, sorry, Gulchen. Yes, lip gloss jars. You recognize them. I thought I could get away with it. But thanks for pointing out. I bought a very tiny piece of glass, which I put little knobs on here, and I worked the surface with silicon carbide. Thanks, Gulchen. No, it is fitting. I mean, it's look at this, right? It fits nicely within that's one line of things. It can close. It can do anything. I 3D printed little clamps for these flaps to stay in place, and we can even tighten them a little bit here. so it's a bit more neatly, and we have a little bit more workspace so we can work paint. And yeah, I will show the pigments. I can show you what they are as well. I have hematite PR102, magenta PR122, pyrrole crimson PR, it says PG, that's a typo, PR264, vermilion, I don't know what vermilion this is, PR151. That's not a real vermilion, is it? Sebastian, thanks for joining. Thank you very much again for your donation. I really appreciate it. Can't point out enough how much it means to me. And have a great night, and good luck with your work. To continue with pigments, PB29, PB60, PB30 azurite, cerulean blue, cobalt, PB35. For the yellows, we have yellow ochre, PY43, green gold, PY129. We have benzie yellow, PY154, and lemon yellow, PY31. And then for the others, I have green earth, PG23, phthalo green, PG7, dioxazine violet, PG23, and benzie orange, PO62. So there's some natural stuff, there is some synthetic stuff, good mixers, granulating paints. Oh, I even put in an empty pan. Oh, look at that, I put in more empty pans on the bottom, as you can see. I wouldn't know what to do with empty pans when I'm making paint on the go. Maybe to give away to painters which I meet in the park, admiring me making paint while it's sunny with a nice glass of wine next to me or something like that. I really don't know when I would use it. But that would be an ideal scenario, I think. So there's my travel bag, which I do always keep handy, because you never know when you need to run away and make paint somewhere. Although I never thought of it bringing with me. I always bring my laptop or something to edit a video or do other stuff. Mostly read pigment stuff and look for pigments that I don't have yet. Again, I have issues. Oh, thank you very much, watercolorist. Now I'm thinking about food again. Why would you throw that in? It's not really necessary, is it? It's as necessary as me showing my pigment travel bag. I mean, it's pretty useless. No, but fun anyway. What's the time? 10 to 11. I used to bring sketchbooks as well, always with me. And I really had to teach myself not to anymore, because I drew creatures. I drew made up insects and creatures and stuff like that. And I always wanted to work them out as a bigger piece of art. And when my studio was used for making art, that was still possible. But when I started making paint, I really had to kind of stop making the drawings, because I wanted to paint and I really didn't have the space anymore. So this, yeah. Sometimes I do miss it. Oh, I miss those. I need to try those again. really like your style, Gulchen. I've looked at some of your work. You sent me, yeah, you sent me the ink thing. I think it was, and I looked at your profile. I really like what you're doing. But sorry, but Paolo mentioned cake in a cup. Does anyone have a good recipe for sticky toffee pudding cake in a cup? That's actually worth it as sticky toffee pudding cake in a cup. Because I'm not sure if anyone from the UK is here, right? Let's have a look what we can do. We can... Do I have any other pictures? This is like an in your face blue, this is. No, Mark is from Hawaii actually. So it's pretty far away from the UK. Bye, Paolo. Thanks for joining. I'm going to go offline as well. I'm going to bed, actually. Thanks a lot for the company. Yeah, like I said, this is way more fun than turning on any streaming service and watching series. Although I probably could have made those two paints a lot quicker without this chat. I did enjoy it more. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for donations, but Sebastian was already away. Thanks for members. Thanks for everyone. I don't think I will go online before Wednesday. So I will see everyone again Wednesday, hopefully, if you're joining. But again, thank you very much for the nice chat and the company and just pigment talks. I really enjoy these. Hopefully see everyone Wednesday and have a great night or great day depending where you're from. Bye guys.